Hello, beautiful souls. This is Vanita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys in this week's pep talk and empowerment. As we are approaching Valentine's and people are getting a little worrisome and they are wondering how they're going to be spending this day, this would be a nice pep talk for you guys. And this is today's topic, and that is how to master the art of self-love. I had published an article just a few days ago, and what I noticed is that there's so much traffic on that article that I decided to actually expand on it on a video as well, because it doesn't matter whether you're a twin flame or on a soul's journey or whatever have you. This is something that is always being hammered by the law of attraction gurus about self-empowerment and self-love, and this whole series that I have for pep talk and empowerment is all based on self-love and why it's important, as well as how to empower your day-to-day existence or life, you know, in whatever soul's journey that you are in. So for those that are new to this channel, please do not forget to hit like, share and subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any future videos. If you need to book any sessions with me, you can do that as well. All that information is in the description, and you can purchase and book directly from my website, so you can also do that. As well as 10% of Twinflameunion sales also go to charity, and all that information is in my website, so you can have a look at that as well. So without further ado, let's dive deep into this topic. I have lots of things to talk about, but before we actually do this, let's hit it. And welcome back. So today's topic, how to master the art of self-love. Now this sounds very, you must have heard this many times, and when I want to say that almost every time people think, or they're misled thinking that they are actually loving themselves, and they don't have any issues loving themselves. I mean, consciously, yes, nobody has issues to love themselves, and everybody wants great things for themselves. But I'm talking about on a subconscious level, how this actually rolls into your life dynamics, and how it actually plays on a subconscious level. Because whether you are on a soul's journey or not, it doesn't really matter, because your day-to-day things that actually roll out, you sort of know whether that is the case or not. And some of the things that I want to talk about is that it impacts if you are not loving yourself enough. I've got a stray hair that I don't know, I can't see it on camera, but it's there. It's tickling me. It actually affects the matters of health, so your self-health, health, It also affects your wellness, basically your mind wellness or your well-being of peace of mind. That will also affect that. It will also affect the areas of money as well, as you know that money is associated with self-love as well as is associated with the heart chakra, right? So those are some of the big key areas that it will actually affect. Also, you will notice, now this is where it's a kicker, because then you will actually think on a deeper level. You will notice just how people are with you as well. Because for the last 3 years, let's just say that, and I've actually noticed this, and I'm pretty sure that you guys would have you have noticed as well, because as you lift your vibration up, you would have noticed that people and things are starting to get attracted to you. You'll have little babies that will get attracted to you. You'll have animals that will be drawn to you. You'll notice that people are drawn to you when you are walking in a grocery store or in a mall. I mean, it's locked down, but you know what I mean, like anywhere that you are, you will just draw things to you, right? So, and that's because, if people are working on themselves and they are actually dealing with, the law of attraction, principles, they're applying it in their daily lives, or they are doing spiritual healing, they're lifting their vibration up, all that stuff will start to get affected and attracted. Everything will get attracted to you. People that didn't like you, for whatever reason, we won't go into that. I mean, people have their own reasons why they don't, right? But what I'm trying to say is that when people didn't even like you, they would be drawn to you as well. They will be drawn to your positive energy. So that's another kicker, to know that you are actually mastering the art of self-love as well, because the more you love yourself, the more you will notice all these, positive things will happen to you. You'll notice that even strangers are going out and about, out of their way to actually assist you in whichever way that, on your day-to-day lives, So that's, those are some of the key things to look for. And if you're not there, where you are always constantly bitter about your life, you're not happy with the way that you are, and you are blaming everything, whether it's to do with your twin flame, not giving you time of the day, or you're in a miserable relationship, to your family and friends. If you're sitting there and playing the victim card, and you're constantly thinking that the whole universe is out there to attack you. So if that's you, then yeah, you won't feel this kind of shift, right? But for those that are actually on the positive light and they're making these positive shifts, you will notice that all these things will start to make a difference. So and once you start to apply the self-love, you will actually start to invest in yourself, be it clothing, and it doesn't matter which gender you are, because guys can look like princesses too. I mean, these days most guys look after themselves, and thank God they do, because as women we appreciate it, right? So they go to their they get their eyebrows done, especially, I have a lot of Indian followers here, so they will agree with me, or, Middle Eastern even too, because, the guys do have, those unibrows, so and they look after themselves, in that way. And we appreciate that, because, yeah, something like this, like, let's say even 20 years ago, it was, guys were starting to do that, but not much. Even these days, guys are looking after their pedicures and stuff like that. You'll see that in salons, and, it's a good thing that they do. But yeah, you'll notice that as you start to appreciate you will start to look good for you as well. You'll start to eat healthier, you will start to give up some of your bad habits, and that will all come automatically, because you're starting to appreciate you, in a very deeper level. And that's what I'm trying to, tell you in this video or in this pep talk, just how you are actually applying it on your day-to-day life. And yeah, you'll start to eat better as well. You won't be eating too many junk food, and just eating a little bit more healthier whole food diet, whatever that is in your dynamics. You could be a vegan, you could be a vegetarian, or you could be just a normal person. It doesn't matter, because food is food. Because you can, these days, there's so many lovely recipes out there, and the food, people are learning to know about more about food. So even people that are vegan, they're finding it a little bit easier too. There's even vegan restaurants out there. So all of that stuff starts to apply, right? So that is if you are at that stage where you're finding these kind of shifts within you, then you know that you're on the right track. And not to mention that signs and things will also start to show up in terms of self-love. You'll start to see some really nice memes. I know that some of my followers love my memes that I share, and I find them, I see a lot of memes, but then I always get the ones that have any sort of resonation to the journey, and just to lift and empower. And for those that actually follow that would be my public media account. So that would be my public page of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of that, that's where I actually post it on a daily basis. So those that follow that, they know that I do that. And they are, I find that it's not only just for me that's sharing it, but it's also a message for myself as well, because I get to read it and apply it as well. So all that stuff actually helps as well, right? To lift you from your daily dilemmas. And those will be always there. You'll always have the stress of something, whether it's your health, your finances, work, just the social aspect. Right now everybody's a little bit unhappy with the COVID, lockdowns. We all are getting fed up. I know that it's trying times for many, and me included, because I'm a social butterfly and I have a large social setting. So it's hard, but you still try to make the most of it. And I know that I've you find ways to go around it, and you still try to have a social life, right? So yeah, there's no wrong or right reasons, but it's to keep yourself also busy, because you can be in that zone where you're constantly missing your twin flame. We all do that, because and I'm pretty sure that they do as well, because it is a divine connection, and they do feel us, in their energy field. They feel that you miss them, and I know that you guys constantly feel that way as well, that they miss you too. So that's there. But the key thing is to just keep focusing on yourself and your healing, and you cannot ever go wrong. I always say this, by focusing on yourself, because when you start focusing on yourself, a lot of other things start to show up as well. So those were just a little bit of highlight, and now I'm going to actually go into the in depth of the little series that I've got here, and I will also link that article as usual. Whatever I'm going to be talking about, I already, on top of my mind, I have 2 articles for sure that I will link, and then you can have a look at that and read it, because you'll gain more knowledge on it. And what I find is that in the spiritual community, there's not many teachers that actually talk about self-love and self-healing aspect, which is a big part of that of the journey as well. And there's only a couple that actually will talk about that is because they have actually done their own work and they've seen all that, how it's actually helped them in their journey. So, I mean, you can talk about your undying love for your twin flame and your unconditional love, but, if you are not loving yourself the way that you should be, then it's kind of pointless, because in a soul's journey, your twin flame will demand that aspect out of you, and you will do the same thing. You'll have the same effect on them as well, where they will they will actually be diving deep into their healing and just reflecting a lot of that self-love aspect as well, because that's what it is. You're triggering each other to bring that aspect out. And for those that are in a relationship with their twin flame, they will be the first ones to tell you that that's something that comes up on almost on a daily basis, because of the daily triggers that happens between the two, right? In this case, the souls chose to use closeness versus the distance, which is what some of the I would say majority of the twin flames have, is the separation, which is the distance part. And for those that are in the relationship, it's because it's not because they are advanced into their soul's journey, or they have actually anchored into their 5D union. That's not it. They are actually on their way, but what it means is that their souls chose that particular dynamics of using closeness as to trigger the day-to-day stuff. And you'll notice that a lot of people that are even in relationships, they will be just as stressed about Valentines, just as the single ones are, right, at this point, because that's what it is. It's many aspects of that shows up. And it's tough times, but I personally feel, and then this is again, Valentine's is it's a lot of pressure on people. I don't want to say any kind of occasions, even Christmas is, because that's when the pressure just kicks in, right? It's a social pressure. And what I feel is, and I've always felt that way, I've never really I'm romantic at heart, just because I'm a Taurus, so I'm ruled by Venus. So, that's, and I've always been romantic at heart. In fact, you probably have noticed by now that, I've changed my, my background here. I actually put all my romance novels in the storage. For the last 3 years, I haven't really read them. I still enjoy them once in a while, but I really don't have the time to watch. To read these books, and I've read them since I was 11 years old. So that's the first one that I had actually. That's the first time I actually had read. And let's just say that after I met the other half, the twin flame, it's been a dying thing for me. I haven't gone into those romance. There's just too much going on in my own life, with the spirituality and all that. So I changed the background a little bit. I still hung on to them because I still like them. But I'm just saying that for those that are romantic at heart, myself included, this is, it's just the way it is. But just hang in there is what I'm gonna say. It is a harder time, to not miss your twin flame on Valentine's, and and I'm pretty sure that my twin flame will also be missing me. He is also ruled by planet Venus, as a Libra. So we both are very, very romantic people. So it is just what it is, and it's the journey, and you just gotta embrace it as it is. So that's what I'm gonna say to that. It does have a big social pressure, and the way that I've always looked at it is because there's just too many societal expectations, and I'm gonna say to everybody that's watching this, it is Valentine's special exclusive, about self-love, and and anything to do with love. So I'm going to say that release any expectations, even to yourself, because once you release that expectation, then once you start to go with the flow, it'll be a lot easier to handle these kind of occasions that show up. I know that when I was in a marriage as well, it was hard, because both of us didn't feel, and this is why we're not together, is because we were not meant to be, and we didn't have that romance spark, nothing. So it was a very difficult. It was always disappointment, because I had a very high expectation of the day, and yeah, nothing great used to happen. And if I actually ever wanted something nice to happen, I had to make it happen. It never happened where it was I never had like a surprise, like a kind of thing, right? So if anything that I needed to do, I had to do it myself. So and just make an evening out of it with a nice dinner or outing or something like that. So what I'm telling anybody that's in a relationship, let go of that expectation to expect your partner to do something nice. If you want to do something nice, then you do it yourself, right? You do it for the both of you. So and I've actually mentioned that in my article. So that's what it is. You kind of let go of that expectation, and hopefully you don't have that kind of situation. But I don't, even though I had such, when it came to Valentine's, I never had really an amazing, memory or experience or whatever have you from the opposite sex. I still think that it is still a very sweet day as is, right? So but Valentine's is what you make of it, and I do feel that every day is Valentine's Day. So yeah, I know that definitely in my next relationship, it'll be it'll be something that I will apply in that in those lines, the principles that I feel, where every day should be Valentine's Day, and it shouldn't be just one special day, though that special day is there as well. And I'm pretty sure that if I'm in a relationship, I will, now that I've done so much healing, and I have a different outlook, it'll be definitely a nicer nicer day. And I'm pretty sure that the next relationship that I will have, we won't be miserable in the relationship either, because I also have gone past that, where I decided to be happy for me, right? So that's something that I have learned. So even if I am miserable in a relationship, I'm not going to be sitting around waiting to grow old in that relationship kind of thing. It's just the way it is. So it's about that empowerment, that self-love, that self-worth, that if you feel that you are worth everything, then you're going to be actually making sure that you are creating your abundance by emptying your cup and having your heaven on earth experience, right? So yeah, I think that everybody should be in that zone, because you only get to have this one precious life. What is beyond this life, we don't know whether we are coming back for another lifetime. I know that a lot of twin flames are geared to have just only this lifetime, and that's it, right? So these kind of things are there, and whatever you've got, however many years you've got remaining, just make every day your best day. So that's like my little pep talk. And now we're gonna dive. I wrote all my notes here, so I'm gonna go over some of the aspects as well. So yeah, hopefully that will actually lift your spirit up, whatever pep talk I've had. And yeah, and I also mentioned even in my article that for those that are missing the twin flame and they have this urge to reach out, you can do so. And how receptive they are to you reaching out, that would depend on your connection. If they've blocked you, they've blocked you. You can, wish it energetically, whatever, it is what it is. If they blocked you, that's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do to change that aspect, right? Another thing you can do is, when you do, reach out to them, just, don't have any, let go for any of your demands, is what I'm trying to say, right? Like, you reach out in the best energy, in the best intention, just wish them, and yeah, with no expectations, with no demands, right? Just wish them as is, and if they are receptive, they're receptive. If they're not receptive, then that's what it is, right? And a lot of times I know that when twin flames like sort of ghost, or when they block you, it's because it's meant for you to go deeper into your healing, and because it triggers these little buttons that you didn't think that existed. That's what it is. When that happens, you're really miserable. You're doing the whole blocking aspect of the funeral. Right? I think that we've all been there. You're just like you're dying. It's like every cell of your being is just dying, and it's every death has a rebirth as well. So you definitely emerge out of that. But what I find is that just in my own dynamics, I found that I actually went deeper into my my alchemy and my healing, and that's the whole purpose of why they actually do this to you. Because there's something that if they don't do that aspect, if they don't block you, or if they don't behave this way, then you're not going to go that deep. So you're supposed to be going that deep because of that, right? So that's what that whole idea is, and the whole point is for you not to take it personally. And I know that it's easier said than done, because you feel like, okay, what did I do to this person? Why does he hate me, or why does she hate me? What did I do to this person? All this sort of feeling starts to come, right? And my only advice to that will be to hang in there, not take it personally. Just know that whatever they did do is because you needed to keep reflecting on what you need to heal on the next level, because that's what that is. So I've got a scratchy throat. As soon as you talk about communication, it's just you start getting throat chakra activation. So another aspect I'm going to talk about is the inner child. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, that inner child is one of the biggest aspects to heal in your soul's journey. And it doesn't just apply to people that are actually on a soul's spiritual journey. It's for everybody. And that's something that as adults, we think that we don't have issues, and that's totally untrue. Now that I specialize in inner child healing, I see people's behaviors, and it doesn't matter how old they are, their behavior just screams inner child healing, and I can just sit there and analyze it. It's just because that's what I do. It's one of my best signature healing, inner child, and I get in fact actually I get that healing, people purchase that healing more than they do for my past life stuff. It just gets to show that I'm really good at what I do on the inner child aspect. So I'm gonna say a really good expert on that. And I've done a lot of inner child healing myself. In fact, in one of my healing sessions, my mini me actually decided to embody me. So I've actually done a lot of healing on that aspect. So, and it's a continuous thing, because it's something that, I have to sit there and parent the child in me, and nobody else can parent that for you. Not even your mom and dad, not your aunt, not your sister, not your brother, not your lover, or not your twin flame, because that's what it is, right? A lot of times, we're looking outside of ourselves to have somebody else make us happy. But if your inner child is happy with who you are, then you don't have to seek outside approval outside of yourself for anything else. That's what it is. So So that's why I'm saying that, inner child healing is really, really important. There's some really good guided meditations on YouTube. You should be doing that. You should be, reminiscing some of your childhood memories. And, if you have, usually as a child, what ends up happening is some of the traumas are known, at least, what I notice with my clients. Some of the traumas are known and they know little bits and pieces, but they don't really know it all too much until they actually come in a session and they actually see more on some of the hidden aspects that were there. And those are the blind spots that usually healers will assist in, and that's they usually come in and they're surprised because by the time they're done, they didn't see that aspect coming, right? So and a lot of times, the traumas that are somewhat known to them as a child, there's more insights on them that they didn't know. They didn't know whether, who did this to them. They just know they have an idea, but they didn't know it was this person or that person. Usually it's a person that's known to them because, again, it's all part of the trust issue, right? Because as a child, you are surrounded by people that you are, in trust with, right? At least your parents, they ensure that, right? As you're as you're growing, they'll always be around, parents that are like that. Like I was complaining to my mom, I don't know, I didn't want to make a scene. I could have easily, and that part really, really, really traumatized me. I was grocery shopping in a store, and I just got into my vehicle and I saw a little girl in a pram, and a baby brother was, oh gosh, even he was small, like he must have been at least 3 years old or somewhat. And I'm looking around for the parent, and I'm assuming that this parent was inside the store. And I was like, I even said this to my mom, even if I call the police, because usually these kind of things, I know that the police usually responds because, this is a no-no. But, I mean, even if I did, by the time they would have responded and come, like the mom would have come out, right, of the grocery store. But, I felt like almost going in and giving her, I'm pretty sure it was a woman, that, an earful, because, that's just, not safe. So, I mean, if you guys are mothers and fathers, just ensure that, these kind of things are also something that you're not neglecting, right? I'm just saying sometimes, parents leave their children in the vehicle as well, or even their pets, and that's a no-no as well. So stuff like that, I mean, I know that there's people that don't think on that level, right? But you don't want to give traumas like that to your child, right? I mean, you can't fix what has happened in your life, but going forward, you shouldn't be doing this to other people or inflicting that kind of stuff, right? It's just that awareness, and I'm just saying that that's something that people should be mindful of, and that was something that I wasn't impressed, because I mean, that's just I don't know what the person was thinking, to just leave the children, and I mean, that young in the parking lot and thinking that's okay, right? I don't care that if you go inside the store for a minute or two or whatever have you. That's just negligence, right? Because yeah, you don't know what can happen, and I don't know. I mean, many things can happen. The child that was not inside that pram could run in front of a vehicle, just stuff like that, right? So, I mean, why people do that, I have no idea. Some people should not parent, and that's one of the opinions that I have, so. But yeah, inner child is very, very important in healing, and the only way you will know your blind spots is by booking sessions with healers that specialize in inner child healing, because yeah, that's very, very important in your healing, is to incorporate that, because yeah, the traumas are there. Everybody has one, and it could be as little as your sister or your brother not giving you your favorite toy and made you cry, and you cried the bejesus because, you know, I mean, you got to look at things from a child's perspective, right? You know, everything, every little thing is larger than life for them, because, you know, they don't have that comprehension level of thinking like an adult, right? So to them, you know, everything is just amplified 1,000 times more. So that's the trauma that's associated when you are little, because everything that you are thinking on an adult level is definitely not that. It's actually amplified as a child on another level. So yeah, there's lots of stories like that that is there. I've talked about this before, and that is the life gratitude journal. I swear by that, because it will really improve your you know, your relationship with you, because it will get you to think and appreciate your life. That's why it's called Life Gratitude Journal, because, you know, it's being in gratitude on a daily basis, right? I mean, that's one thing to be in gratitude on a daily basis, and for those that actually practice daily gratitude and they actually write things in the journal. Now again, for those that just say it, it's not the same thing as writing it, because, you know that when you're writing things, it's on it's amplified on a deeper level, right? So yeah, so when you are actually writing things down, it's way more you know, effective than saying it, you know, affirmations, or, you know, yeah, it's just you're actually affirming it, and you're actually taking it deeper when you're actually writing it. So this is why, you know, a lot of law of attraction gurus will tell you to write it. So I mean, you know, some people like Oprah Winfrey, they've written gratitude journals, you know, and they've kept it for eons. Like, you know, she's kept all her journals from the 80s. So it just goes to show that, you know, some of these really famous people, they actually practice these kind of things, right? I mean, J-Lo is another one. Some of the Indian big Bollywood actors and actresses do that. You know, yeah, it's just so many. You know, some of their oh gosh, those guys. You know, they're the sports, you know, celebrities, right? You know, those ones, you know, they also do it too, because yeah, it's all part of you know, deep healing, right? So yeah, you want to incorporate life gratitude journal, and that is from the moment that you were born. So that's age 1, and you want to go forward to your present day. So each year would be 15 things that you were grateful for. Try to believe it. It's a lot of work, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take you a few months, but, you know, take your time. You may want to just write it before transferring into your good book. You may want to just you know, write some of the key things down and then transfer it, because yeah, it takes a while in your memory lane to even go that deep, you know, but when you do, you learn things that were buried. So that's a good way of healing your inner child, and that is the Life Gratitude Journal, because yeah, it's gonna go deep, and it'll make you realize things. Another thing I want to mention is there's so many here that I have written, so I just want to talk about the next one is forgiveness. Now, you know, it comes back and bites us when I say that. When I say us, it's me included. You have to really, I can't emphasize just how much, and it's easier said than done, to apply forgiveness. And it's, first of all, foremost, you want to be forgiving yourself. That's the first step that you got to do. And the only way you'll be able to do that perhaps is you know, to go into the Life Gratitude Journal, because that's going to actually make you think about all the things that, because you're living through each year that you've already lived. So and you know, you're going to come up with some of the bad memories as well. So put that aside and just write it down. make notes of it. And then you want to, the second part would be the forgiveness, because you want to be forgiving yourself, and then you're going to be forgiving others as well. Because the reason why I say you want to forgive yourself is because you don't want to be playing the victim card. And that's a low 3D paradigm thinking that that you want to get out of, especially if you are trying to make your you're trying to anchor into the 5D vibration, right? So that's that playing victim part, so you can't be holding grudges with people and playing that victim, that okay, I went through this, and this is this person's fault, because on a soul level there's no ego there, right? It's all about everything is wonderful on a soul form. So you want to be making sure that you are applying that those principles. And yeah, you have to really, really learn to forgive. And like I said, it's easier said than done, but that's part of it, right? It's part of your healing to really learn how to forgive that aspect. So that's there. So you got to make sure. Another thing that really, really helps in the next step, you may want to pause the video to jot some notes down that I'm telling you, and because I'm going into steps here. So the first one was inner child. The second one was forgiveness, because you want to life gratitude journal was the other one, and then you want to do forgiveness. And now I'm going to anger therapy now, because when you come after the forgiveness or before, whichever way it applies, you'll have to kind of like look at all that, because when you're trying to apply the forgiveness part, that's when you will start to get really, really mad at the people, and even to yourself perhaps, about things that has happened to you. And you're gonna feel very, very angry. And that's okay. I want you to get acquainted with your anger and your disappointments and your hurt and all that sort of thing. Once you got all that emotions packed in, and then what you want to do is just write all that stuff down. And once you've done that, then you can actually burn it, cremate it. Cremate that emotion that's there, right? And you can do a whole ritual with that too. You can just light some nice candles and do some candle incense, oil lamp magic, whatever have you. Do any hocus pocus on it, it's okay, because these are all the good stuff. This is all about releasing some of these things, right? A lot of people, I've never tried this therapy myself, but people like it, so I'm going to mention it and you can try it. A lot of people, what they do is they write a bunch of swear words and stuff like that in a book, and then they tear the book. I don't know. One of the side effects that I have regarding my journey and my twin flame, he gave me really, really bad influence. I don't swear anymore, so yeah, I can't even find myself to just write some swear words and burn it and do a cremation on that. He's a bad influence. I don't like him for that. So yeah, I just I found that, yeah, it's something that I'm getting away from. So I used to be very, very bad, because people often don't realize that they're even swearing, because it becomes part of their vocabulary. And it took me a year and a half to lose that habit. It was that bad, where I was mentioning it in every sentence. And yeah, it was just, and now when I talk to people and they say the same things to me, it's very, very it's very, very hard for me to listen to that, because yeah, it's just I can't, it's just, even watching movies and stuff like that, I can't, I just detest listening to it even, because yeah, that's it's something that has happened to me, and it's yeah. I don't know whether that's a good thing or what, but that's used to be. I used to be very, very different, and let's just say that after meeting my twin flame, he really, really polished me, in what you see now today. So yeah, a lot of things, a lot of changes happened. So yeah, it is the good part of the connection, I guess, that you will see the change in you, right, in that sense. So yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, you want to do anger journaling. So itchy eye here. So yeah, you want to do that. Another one that I want to say is journaling. Now, see, it depends on your dynamics with your family and your loved ones. Some of them are not around anymore because they passed on or whatever. And if you feel that you have anger, resentment, and you're trying to tell them something, just know that on a soul level they'll be able to hear you anyways. So you can do a nice ritual on that, ask for forgiveness, and you can actually even journal all that stuff. And after you've journaled it, you can actually recite it aloud so that you've put it out, that vibration, into the universe. And on a soul level they would have accepted it, because as the souls on the other side can listen to what you say, right? So you wouldn't know that part anyways, because that's part of the spiritual journey. So you can do that as well. You can actually apply some of these healing through journaling, because journaling is very, very powerful. So at least for those that do them, they will swear that that's the case. Another thing, and this is a big part of my my article that I had written, is the abuse. Now, people assume that when you are getting physically abused in a relationship, or people always associate being abused as just physical aspect. That's it. They don't realize that there's other forms of abuse, and that would be one of the things that you can look at my article. And like I said, it's actually one of the highest trending article right now, because of as we're going closer to Valentine's, people want to know how they can change what's happening around them, so how they can get out of that dilemma of going through some of these occasions like Valentines and stuff like that, right? So you want to actually read that part, and there's just so many levels of abuse, and I only mentioned a few, but there's emotional abuse, there's mental abuse, there's verbal abuse. And this is why I think I really get triggered now when people are using verbal verbal vocabulary in their sentences, because it's part of an abuse. I associate it with that, though they are not saying it directly at you, but it's because you've shifted your whole perception into the 5D, and that in the 5D all that stuff is not there. So yeah, I don't like listening to it, because I'm thinking here, to me this is how I feel. If I'm working so hard in my spiritual journey, and I'm spending so much money on this, why do I need to hear things like this, right? It's really, really it's not encouraging at all. It doesn't encourage, it doesn't uplift, it doesn't do any of that stuff. It's annoyance is what it is. So why do I need to inflict that pain on me to listen to these kind of annoyance? So that's where I have that viewpoint on abuse, and that's why I don't care for them now. So and it's different for everybody, but that's just the way I feel, right? And in fact, when the moderators that I have, they they enforce it very well in my Facebook group, because yeah, it's a zero tolerance on abuse. And it was funny because it took us a while to even come up with the list, because we had to Google it, and because none of my moderators they use that either. They're in the highest vibe. So and thank you, girls. I know that you guys watched them, and all the previous ones that gave your service. I know that you guys learned so much. Just moderating, and yeah, your help was always you know welcomed. And yeah, it was good interacting with all of you for the timing that you did, and then you guys moved on to other things. But I'm just saying that yeah, you guys were all in the highest vibe. And yeah, it was a pleasure knowing everybody, because yeah, that's what it is. And that's what I'm saying, that they even ensure that the group's vibe is in the highest highest form, right? Because that's what it is. It takes a lot of work to get there, but yeah, I think that it changes the whole dynamics of the group. And they are I think that once you understand what we are trying to do here, you guys appreciate it. So yeah, I think that it just it's something that it's important. So yeah, abuse is another one that you want to look at what I have written on it, because there's just so many things that people don't understand what abuse is and how it actually affects. And it's one thing to give abuse, because once you start getting enlightened, and that's the thing that is the good part of being being in the spiritual journey, and you're getting enlightened. You really understand the aspect of abuse. So and you apply it in your day-to-day life. So you change that aspect. But another thing that you want to make sure is burp. Oh my god, another one. You want to apply is to make sure that you are also not taking any form of abuse. And that's huge, because there is nothing that you are doing or you shouldn't be doing that should require any sort of abuse. And that's something that you have to, and that's part of standing in your ground, in your own power. And that's the power that comes from within. When you have that power, you actually stand your ground and you say no. And no is a very, 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 very strong word that you can apply to these kind of things. You don't want to be putting up with that, be it your coworkers, your family members, your twin flame, or your romantic connections, your friends. Nothing. I mean, you shouldn't be taking that kind of abuse from anybody. Even to an extent, you shouldn't be, for those that are dealing with public, I mean, if you have your own businesses, and if you're becoming a public figure, then yeah, you shouldn't be taking abuse from the public either, right? I mean, I feel for those celebrities now, because as I am starting to become a public figure, I'm starting to see this as well. And you have to, it took me a while to even, and this is a good pep talk for those that are actually going to be stepping into your mission, and you're going to be doing your mission work. You really learn how to not take things personally. And that's the first thing that I'm going to say to everybody, is not to take things personally, especially those ones that are on the public figure, or they're on the public side, where they're strangers and stuff like that, they're interacting. And not everybody is going to be loving your energy, or and that's the lack of self-healing that they have. Because usually things that are lacking in them, they will leash out on others, and they will take out their anger, their frustration, especially regarding their journey, and their lack of self-discipline towards their journey, or their healing, or whatever have you. Something will get triggered, and that's what it is, right? It is what it is. Like, I remember this was a while back, and and that's where I started to, I tolerated it for a while, and then I now don't tolerate it at all, because I don't have, why should I be tolerating somebody's bad behaviors when my behavior to you is not like that, right? It's, it's because, you have a self healing that you are lacking somewhere. But this person, it was one of my moderators had, she used profanity. So my moderator had corrected her and disciplined her, muted her, just removed the comment and muted her. So she got all triggered. Why she's being why these measures were taken. The group rules are there, and it's nothing that we do in the group, and in large groups all have these kind of stuff. So if you are in any kind of groups, my best advice would be to take a look at the group rules, because it's all there, and usually it's done and created so that it's a safe working space or hanging out space for the rest, right? Because it's not only geared for just one person, it's geared for thousands and thousands of people that are there, right? So then that's what it is. So anyways, she decided to message me, and I explained to her why, and she ended up swearing and stuff like that. She used words, and and that's what I mean, like stuff like that. It's because there's lack of self-healing there. So you don't want to be taking that kind of abuse, and it's something that as I healed me, I'm starting to now, not answer back in the sense, but what I do is when people are doing these kind of things, of course, I ban them from the page, and remove them from the group and block them or whatever have you. But it's actions that you take. You don't engage with them, but you take actions because you are standing in your ground. And I in fact actually made that as part of my group rule, where if you're going to be inflicting abuse on me personally, then I'm going to be dealing with it accordingly. Because it's all about standing in your power and saying no. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys here, that you want to be staying in your power, and you want to be saying no to all of this, because you love you, and if you love you, you will defend you, right? Because nobody else will be able to do that for you. You can only stand up to yourself, and that's it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you here in this channel, is to stand up to abuse. Do not take it. Apply that self-love, because I think that's very, very important part of your spiritual journey and your evolution. So once you start doing that, you will see that you will feel better as well. I know that after I had made that rule, and I had actually explained it to the group members, I have not received any abuse like that after that. So it just goes to show that once you actually stand in your ground and you actually say stuff like that, and you put that in your group rule, that if you're going to come and inflict any of my moderators or me and start giving us abuse, we're going to be exposing you in public, that really put a stop to some of the things that my moderators and I was going through. So yeah, stand in your power, because you are precious being, right? There is nobody more precious than you. So you need to make sure that you are looking after you in a very, very larger than life way. So yeah, that's all part of that that empowerment, that inner child healing. It's seeing your self-worth, because a lot of times we don't realize just how amazing we are, and that's part of that. Now that comes to the next part of it. That would be the affirmations. So your daily affirmations. You want to be giving yourself some affirmations, because I think that they are amazing. Especially like do any sentences that have I am. So you can say I am beautiful, I am abundant, I am healthy, I am prosperous, right? I am forgiving, I am love, right? I am healing, anything like that, right? These are all amazing affirmations. I know that there's some guided meditations that are on YouTube, and that's actually on my future list to do as well, is to create, because some of you really like my guided meditations, so that would be one of my future ones to do, is do like a guided meditation for that affirmation. And if you do that once a month even, that's gonna really help you anchor in, that I am, and then you are you. So and that's the whole point, right? So yeah, you really want to take that in and really anchor it. In our Facebook group, we put that post out every day, and there's people that swear by it. I actually even started to add that into my gratitude journaling myself, where I do that almost, I want to say 90% of the time. I add the I am. So there's 4 things that I will list that I am, in a way I'm actually, and that's different from the gratitude. I'm actually claiming some of these I am things, so, what I just mentioned. So, and they could be repeats, and that's okay. You don't have to come up with new things. It's going to be usually it's repetitive. After a while, you won't be able to find new things. Not like the gratitude one, where you'll always find something different to be grateful for. So this is a little bit different, but yeah, go ahead and add that as part of your daily duties as well, because I think that that's amazing way to really anchor in your your presence, you, right? You can do that in front of a mirror as well, looking at you, and that's okay. You can go nuts there. It's a good mirror exercise to do, because it's going to really boost your self-esteem. It's going to boost everything that is to do with you, right? You're going to get that empowerment. You're going to get that encouragement, and you will you will just get inspired. You'll get inspired to be totally you, because the whole part of coming out of all of this is to embrace yourself, right? In a very big way. So that was that. Another one that I want to talk about is self-help books. And self-help books are amazing. This amazing, you can Google the ones that talk about self-empowerment or self-help, like look at those ones that are there. I just started the Power, and that's from the Secret series. So that one seems to be, I just started it, so, and then I don't have time to listen to, read. I just don't have the time, I'm just so swamped. But what I do is I listen to the audio file, because it's just easier for me to finish it. Because yeah, if I want to read it, I won't have the time. So audio files are amazing that way. There is Amazon has good program with that, with the audio files, so you want to maybe look at that, their audio collection, where you pay $15 a month, and it allows you to download 2 books, and then that book is there for you to keep. So yeah, for those busy bees, like me, if you don't have time to read, try the audibles, because they're amazing. And a good thing about any of these audibles, even YouTube, sometimes has these books on audio files. So and I usually, in my group, I actually have a section where I actually have all the links there, so people can have a look at it. But yeah, you wherever you leave off with the audio files, you pick up from there. So it's easy to listen to it. It's not that hard. You could be doing your daily chores around the house or whatever have you, and you can actually still listen to it. So you want to include that as well. So audio files or reading books, self-help books are amazing. And if you want to check that out, that's the Power. I think that's the heading, and that is from the Secret series. So that's with from Rhonda Byrne, right? So you want to have a look at that and see if you like that one, because yeah, I mean, if anybody liked The Secret, then you would like that one. It's all about standing in your personal power, and yeah, so you wanna definitely have a look at that one. Another one that you wanna work on is your heart chakra, because as you know that our emotions are based on our heart chakra, right? It's where your love, it's your love center, and what you want to be doing is healing that aspect. And if you've done any of the past life work, or if you've done really, really deep soul healing with healers, that's one of the things that you will notice, is that you have armored up your heart really, really nicely. You've built walls around it. You actually get to see that in healing sessions. You've you've created like, oh gosh, it's like you've created brick walls around it. You've caged it. You've caged your heart, and you've caged. You've actually put a shield around it. You've put like a light shield around it, whatever, and that's nothing can penetrate it. And this is the reason why you guys are having difficulty with your twin flame, because that's that aspect that they are mirroring back to you, right? And when you go into that deep soul healing, you actually get to see all that aspect, because that's what it is. This is why your twin flame is running away from you, because you do not love yourself enough, and it's all about vibration. It's all about energy. And if you do not love yourself enough, you will repel that aspect to your twin flame. Whether you're in a relationship with them or you're not, whether you're dealing with separation, or whether you are living with them, or dating them, whatever, that aspect is gonna really, really trigger the bejesus out of the both of you, because that's what it is. And the simple law of attraction, and that is that if you cannot love you, then nobody else will be able to love you the way it's just the way it works. If you cannot find enough love in you, there is no way that anybody can give you that love. That's why a lot of times you hear that. I said that in the beginning of the video, that people are always looking outside of themselves to to find love, and you got to find that love within you. So that's why this is something that you cannot fool. And your higher self is very, very smart, and they know you like there's nobody's business. So if you're trying to say to yourself that I am so I love myself so much and all that sort of thing, and there's your twin flame that doesn't want to have anything to do with you, and this is my healing as well. So I'm not saying that I have mastered that, because if I had mastered that, I don't know where life would be, right? It's all on a subconscious level, but at least when you are doing a conscious effort of trying to master it, and you're trying to heal it, that's what you're on the right path. Then that's all you can do, right? You can only do all that stuff with the best of intention, with the right mindset, and hope for the best, right? And just see how things will unfold slowly. And if you see some of the areas are unfolding, and you see that you've started to build amazing relationship with people, at work, with your clients, with your friends and your family, you're mending relationships, and you're providing that, you're setting up boundaries, you're standing up for your ground, all these kind of things. When you're starting to make those kind of changes, then the whole world is your oyster, right? So that's what that is. And you wanna you can't fool your higher self, and your higher self knows this. So you have to be very, very careful to don't think that you're there, because you're not, right? Nobody is. And that's it's an ongoing process, and this is why that whole process is getting triggered where your twin flame is concerned, because that is what is repelling them, like big time. And the more you master the act of self-love, the more you know, you'll find that even your twin flame will be drawn to you, because that's what it is. And I don't know how many rituals I have done. I've actually done so much self-love rituals. I'm actually still in the middle of some. You know, it's an ongoing process, right? But it is what it is. And yeah, you just hope that you know, you can master it someday, right? So yeah, so you want to be healing your heart chakra. And I know there's some really amazing guided meditations on YouTube. You can actually even sleep with heart chakra solfeggio frequencies. They're amazing. They're like about 8-9 hour long ones that are on YouTube. And I'll have them play very lightly on your phone as you sleep, right? You know, just yeah, you know, it's stuff like that, right? You know, you want to work on your heart chakra a lot. And the only way you can de-armor your heart chakra would be to work with healers, and they will be able to help you release all that baggage, because you know, it's amazing just how tightly we've clipped that. So, and it's the last one that actually opens up. You know, usually the other chakras are easier to open, but this one is hard because you know, you've got eons and eons of trust issues there, lack of forgiveness and anger and resentment, you know, and guilt. It's all there, all the emotions that you didn't, you know, you don't want to have in your spiritual journey. You have it there in your heart chakra. So it's harder to you know, to master it. So I think, let me just see if I have, yeah, I have covered everything. And yeah, this is what it is, how to master your self-love issues. Because if your twin flame is ignoring you, doesn't want to have anything to do with you, then something's lacking there within you that's repelling them, right? So you need to find out what that is. You need to, you know, figure out all of that, because if you are not ready vibrationally, your twin flame wouldn't be either. So that's what some of the experts say, and I swear by that, because that's what it is. It's an ongoing process, and the healing is ongoing. But Rome was not built in one day. I always say that. So you got to take one day at a time, you know, remove one layer at a time. And the biggest gift that you can give to yourself would be money, time, dedication. And when you do all of this, the self-love will come automatically. So your investment is there. You can invest in your improving yourself however way, because when you have money, then you will have ways to improve yourself. That could be your looks, right? Your environment. That could be your, you know, your house, and you know, your vehicle, you know, that gets you from point A to point V, or traveling, doesn't matter, you know, your leisure, right? You know, right now we're in COVID, but that doesn't matter, because you know, that's not going to be always there. It's not permanent. So you know, there's going to be a time when you would be able to indulge in, you know, travel and all that sort of thing. And yeah, in your spiritual healing, because all that stuff is not free. And you know, so yeah, those things all come in there when you have access to money, right? So when you actually draw in the money, then you will be spending. The more money people make, the more they spend. You know, that's the universal law, right? And that's what it is. It's because, you know, people that you know, believe in that concept, they're spending more money because, you know, they want to create this heaven on earth, right? And you know, once you leave this body, you can't experience all of that stuff. So you want to create, you know, that day-to-day luxury, and you know, you want to be living in abundance in every way, right? So, and then of course, you know, all of that stuff also your state of being also improves. So that would be your health and your mind, right? Your body will heal. So a lot of things. So yeah, I hope you guys took whatever I gave you and sunk it all in. And if you didn't, then revisit this video again and again till it actually sinks in and you apply this in your day-to-day life. And this was, again, Twin Flame Union, bringing you guys how to master the act of self-love.